All right.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome back for another exciting episode of DioWarriors TV. So, anyways, with me tonight is Mike Horsley, if I pronounce your name correctly. And let's see, we should have a few other people also joining us tonight as well. I think Joe Harris from D&J Toys will make a showing. Um, so we'll see. So, Mike, I've noticed you've been posting some pictures of some 3D prints. Did you get a printer?
Oh yeah. Well, all except the Castle Grayskull. It's still running right now, but it should be done in an hour or two.
Hey, great. So, so tell, so uh, what? I'm curious. What kind of printers did you get? Well, so anyways, let's see. This is interesting. Okay, so anyways, so I noticed you printed uh, oh, not a weather dominator, but a mass device.
A mass device. Yeah.
Right.
I finished it today too. Actually, it's sitting right next to me.
Were you, have you assembled it or painted it or anything like that yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. I assembled it and painted it and everything. Check it out. If I can get it in the screen here.
Oh, that's nice.
Even got some stickers going on it.
Yeah, that
Turn
looks
it
really,
around without dropping it. I put some.
some
It
Star
was a
Wars
little short
boxes.
for my taste. Um. So I put some. I painted up some Star Wars crates
Yes.
that I printed a week or so ago, and painted them the same color and glued them on the bottom as feet, and to give it a little height, you know.
So how does
And
it scale
I think it
to
turned out all
a
right.
figure? How does it scale to a figure?
Oh, pretty good. Let me see. I got Destro sitting right here too, right now. Let's see here.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Scoot this over a little bit, and here we go.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, been down and of course in a
Hmm.
you know maybe closer down to it, but
Right, right.
it's got some pretty good size to it. It's bigger than the one Hasbro released for sure.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, it looks it too.
I still I still could have I could still blow it up even more. I got the file for it. Um, but I would have to print it without a raft, and I probably could because it's just flat on the bottom and it's a big piece. Um, but maybe in the I might print another one up a couple inches bigger. You know what I mean?
Right,
But
right.
this will do for now.
Yeah, it's a decent size, and I think your printer is capable of doing it much bigger as well. So that's good. Um, the only thing new with me
Yeah,
is
my bed plate's just under 9 inches square.
yeah, that's good, good size. And of course, you could also do the Z heights as well. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I know I'm already looking at that ender extender to double the height, the other one to double the plate size as well. But I don't know where I'll put it if I do because I barely got room for this one.
wow. Yeah, I'm going with shelves. I'm just stacking things up, up, up. So that's my next thing. I'm kind of running out of space,
Hmm.
so I have to go up on everything. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not too much with new with me from last week. I still haven't gotten orders from Hobby Link Japan yet. I have I got one of those murder hornets, from one of those Figmas. So it's like a large.
I saw those.
Yeah, I got one of those, but it hasn't been shipped. It should have been, and I got a bunch of additional parts. I'm trying to do some
Those
experimentation.
remind me of sectars.
Yeah,
You throw a
yeah,
GI Joe on the back of it.
yes. I was thinking about that. Actually, in the car last week, I was talking with someone, and I was just thinking, like back in the old days, in the '80s, when those things were in the store, in the toy stores. I think he had it was sectors. I think he had there was another insect type toy thing. But I remember one of them having it was basically like you put your hand in like a glove, so your hand can
Yeah,
do
sectars.
the legs sectors. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had the
Here's
big one and then the spider thing, and yeah,
yes.
dude. The,
Okay.
the
Here's
figures
here's
were like 4 or 5 inches tall, though. All
there.
right.
All right. It just took me a
Hey,
minute to get in. I was trying to finish up some stuff and forgot what time it was.
so welcome. I'm glad you made it.
I'm still out in the workshop, so
Great. Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's
I'll
what
show
I
you
need, a workshop.
right here. All
Oh yeah,
those was needing to
Oh,
get
nice.
you're
yeah, all
busy.
those was needing to get paint on it. So, but I
So
just finished it up.
so are those ready to go out tomorrow or something like that?
There, I was turning off my fan. Couldn't hear. Okay,
Yeah. So are
All right.
those ready to go tomorrow or something?
those are the Eagle Force. Uh, that's the little platform on the bottom. And it's the last ones that I was needing to paint that I kind of got sidetracked and didn't get the chance to finish because of everything that happened. So, but they're done now, and so all next week, all the rest of them's going to get shipped out, and then that'll be done. So
Hey,
we'll
cool.
be Eagle Force will be out of here finally,
I
and
mean,
then I can be able to go
all
on
done?
to Animal Warriors.
Like
Yes.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So,
That was a big project.
oh yeah, yeah. I'll show you right there as the stack of the gliders waiting to go. So, and uh, there's the bottom pieces over here, some more gliders over there. Uh, let's see. I'll turn this light on here, and then the backdrops. So, I got them all scattered about, so that way all I got to do is just start grabbing them and stacking them in boxes, and then tape it up, and then get it out of here.
Yeah, maybe
So,
you can move the phone a little bit, or the camera a little bit slower when over the gliders and stuff, because it comes in
okay.
kind of blurry.
All right, let me hold it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh, those are
All
nice.
right.
Beautiful.
Let me improve. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Those red ones are fire.
Can you see that?
yeah,
Right
those look
here's
really
the
nice.
3D printed pieces, and these pieces is the
That's
all
nice.
this is handmade, but
Yeah.
so it's got little fins, so that way you can be able to rotate it, and then a place to put the figure. So,
Yeah.
and then of course the
Those are
Eagle
beautiful,
Force
man.
ones.
It's like a
That's like
claw
a
version
figure.
too.
How does a figure
Yeah,
attach to?
kind of. That's actually kind of what I was in the process of going for. So my idea was trying to see if I can make it look like something that would have happened back at that time whenever those were made, and then plus blend in, of
Oh.
course, GI Joe with it. So
Very cool.
I'll be glad to be done with it though. So that's
Yes.
been a 4 year journey, and that shouldn't have been that long. So yeah,
Well,
if it wouldn't have been like I said. Yeah, well, if it wouldn't have been for the process of my dad having his problems and dying, and then me having my problems and my mom dying, I mean, all that together, that just
yeah, yeah,
that kind of stops your projects whenever that happens. But
yeah. It is
hopefully,
hard
all that's
to
behind me
move.
now, and I'll move forward.
Right.
So I'll just
Yeah.
do what I can. So,
So I was
so what are
talking.
y'all up to then?
Well, I was talking with Mike before you showed up, and we were talking about his new printers that he's
Oh
got,
yeah,
and he showed a mass device that looked pretty good, and
yeah, I seen the posts of that. That was pretty neat.
so I'm curious. You got that mass device like Thingiverse or something like that?
Yeah, Thingiverse.
Thingiverse. Okay.
I'm not sure I'm not sure of the author, but he did an amazing job on it. It was amazing. And I just typed in GI Joe, and there's like only like 50 entries or something on Thingiverse for GI Joe. And
Yeah,
there's like the Terror Drome, there's a Cobra Claw, Vamp Jeeps, and stuff like that. And I thought, I'm just a novice. I'm still learning how to use the printer and everything, and it's just a big blocky thing. So I figured I'll try that first, and then go from there. With the later on, get to the more multi-piece vehicles and stuff like the Vamps and the 3D printed his tanks and that sort of thing.
Right.
But
Yeah, I still gotta print some of those. I think there's a guy on Thingiverse. I think his name is like Jabberwocky or something like
there you
that.
go.
yeah,
That's it.
that's who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes mostly the stuff for like the tabletop gaming. Cause that's pretty much that's why it doesn't have as much detail, but you can easily blow it up and do whatever you want to do with it. And
Oh yeah.
just add
Actually, you
detail
got to kind of
in, and
scale them down. The files when
yeah.
you open them
Oh, he's got
in
them bigger.
Cura,
Okay.
they're ginormous files. You got to shrink them
Oh,
down
okay.
to get them.
Okay. I guess he's re-uploaded them because the old ones that I had, they were like little bitty tiny things.
Oh.
I ended up blowing them up. So that's probably what it was. Is he redid it so that way it would
Oh.
be better, more than likely. A lot of people improve their files over time whenever they start learning a few new things. So
Yeah. There's a terror drome on there, but uh it's sliced in three pieces, so it's still like the round. It's got the bottom, middle, and top, and then like the guns. And there's no way I can. I mean, I could print it on my printer bed for 28 mil stuff, you know, but without putting it in a CAD program and slicing it like a pie, there's no way to do it in like 1/18 scale.
Right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, there's a few tools out there. The names don't come to me right now, and I don't have it on this computer. Uh, but yeah, there's a few tools out there. I don't know if they're still available. They they're getting less and less, and I'm hearing more people talk about splicing things in a more complicated CAD program rather than these older tools. Um, I don't remember the name of it.
And that's one of the reasons why I do the stuff like I do. I'll show you my examples, so that way it kind of maybe shows. Since he's new to 3D printing, that this might kind of help you.
Hmm.
Like
Mesh.
with the glider, I'll pull it over. Well, let me put it in the floor so it'll be easier to show you. All right. Like with the glider, all of this is just flat little sheets of plastic like styrene.
Oh,
So
okay.
you could be able to take that and cut all of your shapes. Like just pretend like that's the Terradrome. You could be able to do the floor of the Terradrome like this. And then
Oh,
like your
yeah.
guns and your other parts, you could be able to do your 3D printing with that and then just glue it all together, and then you end up with a full piece. So
Totally.
that's the idea. That's the idea
um,
that I've been trying to do, so that way it saves time on the 3D printing.
true,
And
true.
so you could actually do like a USS flag. You could do the whole thing and just do the flight deck and all that out of sheet plastic, and then all of the other details print that 3D printed, and you got a flag. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I think the program
it
that I was
sounds
thinking about.
a little bit harder talking about it than actually whenever you start doing it.
Huh.
So,
Yeah, I think the
but
program that I was talking about is called Mesh Mixer, and it
Okay.
might be a little tricky to use at first because it has its own little quirks, but it's a very powerful program. And you can take an STL and you can manipulate it in all sorts of ways. Basically, it's a very good tool to prepare an STL for different kinds of printers, different ways to print it. It's a
Okay.
good tool to have. So,
Awesome.
yeah, Mesh Mixer. I think Autodesk owns it now, but uh, there should be some free versions out there. So I would look into that. In other words, you should be able to take that
Cool.
Terradrome
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
cut it into how many pie slices you want. You can hollow it
yeah,
and
you can
everything.
do it that way too.
So it should make it
Yeah,
easier
Huh.
for that.
that's your other option there too. Yeah, you can cut it up into multiple spots and glue it up.
Yeah,
A
Huh.
little bit of sanding, but
yeah. The only trick then is just to determine how it's going to be printed. Like you cut the slice of the pie, but print it like this. Like
True, true.
print it like that, or at an angle or something. You know.
Yeah.
So, uh, well, the only other thing that's new with me is the same thing as last week. As y'all know, I've been working with the VSS doing my space carrier, and so I haven't really had much time to do any new products or anything like that. I have new ideas and stuff in the works. So if anyone out there is listening and they're curious, I guess you could say once I get it to a good stopping point with the VSS, I'll be switching gears back to the props and everything. Um, but the only other thing I could say is the only thing that I've been doing this week has been printing a bunch of pieces. Let me get, maybe I can, a bunch of pieces like this. They've been taking like 9 hours to print, and I got a bunch of them. So basically, what I'm doing is making attachment points for um, for the floor parts of the VSS. So both sides, and I could just put like well, I got it upside down, but basically just putting a floor piece. So I have like pieces of wood going to act as the floor, and I'll just build up the walls.
Nice.
Well, all this has been taking hours to print, you know. So this is basically all I've done this week. I have 3 sets of this,
Mm.
you know, just three sets, a bunch of these, and since last Friday, yeah. Um, and
Are
I'm
those ones? Are those girders prototypes?
actually this one is, um, mostly because let's see, this one fits like this. Oh,
Oops.
okay, this one fits like this inside. I'm not going to snap it in all the way because I'm going to glue this together. And this other one fits like in the other side. But yeah, so this is basically it's a joisting piece. And the the width of the VSS is almost about as big as this, just a little bit bigger, I think. So this is going to be for the engine room.
Nice.
So what I'm doing some joisting on the bottom to hold the floor. So it'll fit like this. And on the other side, there's going to be a gap in the middle for other things. So I'm doing a group of 6 of these on the bottom to support the floor. And on the top, identical, 6 of these on top to support the ceiling.
Nice. That's gonna look good.
It's going to have the engine thruster in one end, 2 of them. And then I'm just going to build up the walls as a separate piece. And the walls are going to be magnetic, so I can just pull them off and access the inside. The ceiling also
Yeah.
will be magnetic, so I just pull it off and access the inside. But so this is just taking a tremendous amount of time to do. So this first one is the prototype because I need to see if it's going to be long enough to fit into the back of the VSS. But if it works, then I don't have to do anything else. I can just print out the rest, and
Yeah.
that's basically what I have. And then I got a bunch of other stuff, that's being printed. Um, Different parts of it. I'm doing basically joisting structure for the entire outside of my VSS. So, and basically that machine behind me is the one that's doing it all. I don't have the other machines. They're occupied for other things, especially the orders and stuff. So this is the only one I can take off and just use it for this project. So that's basically it with me. Everything else I'm just doing. I'm just doing the regular prints, the smaller prints for orders. Uh, doing a bunch of chairs.
Nice. Those are cool.
Yeah, I need to put these up on the store as well. This is kind of like it's not a prototype anymore, but it's another version of the chairs that I do. I got some of those other ones here without the stand. So you can see the differences. The
Oh
older
yeah.
one is taller, but the one's got it has more of a classic office look to it.
Yeah, I like the open armed ones, and it's less material too, so it saves in cost.
Yes, yes. So this one prints just a little bit faster, but still same type of stand as the original. So these going to be hitting the store soon, though. Yeah. Where? So Joe, I know you have some other projects that you wanted to get the Eagle Force done with, so you can start with something new.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I've been doing. It's just putting all my time on the Eagle Force, trying to get it out the door. And of course, I got Animal Warrior of the Kingdom, and
That was the one.
that's I'll show you here. That's this.
Oh, nice.
Let me zoom that up.
Right, it
I
goes the other
like
way.
that.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There. So and I'll get close up. Well, the wrong way with the camera. So make it slow. So, and it's got the little vine that's gonna be attached and all that. But yeah, that's the next project. There is finishing that up, but that's pretty much almost done.
What
And
material is that?
there's not a whole lot left to do for that. Just uh, I think I got about 5 more pieces that it's got to be printed, and then I can finish up the cleanup work on it and glue it up and paint it, and then it's out the door. So, and it's a whole lot less of those. It's only 27 of those. The
No.
Eagle Force was, I think it was 66 or 65 of the Eagle Force ones.
Wow.
So there's a few extra. but yeah, I'm just gonna finish up Animal Warriors, but I'm gonna be working on other things while I'm still doing that, because
So
as you know, you gotta paint stuff and then you gotta let it dry, and then while it's drying, you can do something else. So,
the Animal Warriors, what material is that? Is that also 3D printed or some other process?
it's a mix of a bunch of stuff. It's some handmade, some mostly 3D printed, but yeah, it's the doors. I'm gonna be hand making everything on that, and all the other pieces is 3D printed. There's a few pieces that's got to join it together that I got to hand make, and then the little vine is some stuff that I found at the fabric store. It looks like a vine, so it worked fine enough. The original concept, it was going to have a 3D printed tree over on the side and have a little vine that the little monkey people could swing on and all that, but
The
that
reason
got
why
scratched, and then we put a tower up.
the reason why I ask is because I'm wondering, like how well that material can take, like, being outdoors for a while. The idea of, what if you were to actually grow some moss and let natural moss actually grow on the thing?
Yeah, it would probably work. Um, it's like any other 3D printed stuff. If you had it in some high heat and everything, eventually you're going to get a little bit of warping. But because it's PLA that I'm printing with, so I mean, you don't want to stick it out in Arizona heat and let it sit out there for a whole week. So,
Yeah,
but
not bad.
but it'll do for most people's stuff.
Well, I'm sure
Plus, I think moss grows anyway. Doesn't moss grow better in the shade than it does in the sun?
Yes.
So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, you could just stick it in the shade and let it grow.
yeah, I hear there's like certain techniques to grow moss. Like, I know there's some people who want to have that moss look on their flower pots, and there's like some sort of mixture they put together so it's friendly for mosses to grow. And apparently, so I was thinking, I wonder, spray painting that with some sort of stone spray paint, if that would
Yeah,
provide,
that's what I've got on there.
if
Yeah,
that
I've
might,
got it's a texture spray paint.
yeah, I was
Those
thinking,
work really well.
So,
yeah,
yeah.
and it acts like a shell.
It completely covers everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, whenever you spray that texture, it covers all the lines and anything. You don't really have to do a whole lot of cleanup. So
Yeah, I've been wanting to do some, like, Easter Island, heads and things.
oh yeah, that would work good for that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing anyway. And like I said, I'm gonna get back on the Cobra basis. There's no 3D printing involved on that. That's just straight out using the CNC machine and bandsaw cutting and gluing it up and shipping it out the door. So, and beyond that, I'll be looking for projects. So
Have y'all
figure out some
been
new stuff.
looking into? Okay, Mike, I know you showed some pictures on 3D printed toys official Facebook group um, of some 28 millimeter stuff. So in other words, you probably are a 28 millimeter fan. Have you been looking at 28 millimeter uh, board game type props that are out there? Specifically, there's one that comes to mind where it's appearing on my Facebook wall yesterday and today. An Egyptian aesthetic for props, um, things like that. I was wondering if you've been looking at those.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm an avid D&D player. Um, that's like every Saturday we D&D, and I was for a while I was buying terrain on Etsy and eBay and stuff like that. Along with miniatures. And now I got a printer. I've been printing. I started printing a ton of dungeon tiles, like the open lock ones that you're modular,
Yeah.
and now we're gearing up for some sci-fi to play some aliens in 28 mil, and I've been printing a spaceship terrain right now, and it's working out good. And then there's so many props on Thingiverse for 28 mil, and a lot of them can be blown up to 1/18 scale, like crates and bunkers and all kinds of madness that you can blow up for GI Joe scale.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all about if you can get it to fit on your
Yeah.
build plate. But but yeah, there's some amazing stuff. There's some really cool stuff out there. I've been going crazy. I'm just filling up a hard drive with files, get to them in a list in order of whatever I feel like printing at the time.
Yeah, I've been looking at some of these 28 millimeter stuff, and specifically just background things. There's a lot about for a lot to have a medieval look, but
Oh
what
yeah,
catches my attention is the Egyptian looking ones that are coming out, because you can use the Egyptian motif in things that are not D&D related at all.
oh
Like
yeah,
GI Joe stuff. Make
absolutely.
an obelisk, and that could be out in the sandbox or a beach somewhere. Or in the jungles. That'd be interesting. It's almost like Stargate. You
Yeah,
know, and do a different scene like that. So that's what caught my attention. And so yeah,
'It's a huge well of 3D files, man, that can be blown up and used in nearly any scale. You know what I mean? And since I'm primarily 1/18th guy, um, yeah, I've been looking at that stuff and going, wow, I can blow it up and print this stuff in GI Joe scale, big like rock formations and like huts and just literally anything. It's crazy. It's so awesome.
yeah, I do suggest looking into that tool, mesh mixer, because you can make a solid object hollow,
Oh,
and
nice.
you can save material and time. Because some of those, some of the pieces you get on Thingiverse, sometimes it's not too easy to just simply tell the printer software to print hollow. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to tinker it yourself and kind of customize it.
Yeah, I've
So
been playing with the infills on a lot of stuff because mostly default is like a 20% infill or something, and it adds to plus it adds to material. Um, something I printed the other day was like a 24-hour print, man, and I was like, oh my god. And honestly, if I would have just went to like a or
yep.
even a 0% infill on some stuff, you can't do it on everything. I actually tried to print that Cobra bunker with a 0% infill, and it wouldn't go, man. I had to
Yeah.
actually make it an infill, but it's okay because it doesn't have any working doors on it anyway. So to get inside and photograph it, you just have to lift it off anyway. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Right.
so it's just a nice, real good big set piece for the background, but as far as like play set value, it's kind of, but
Yeah, the only other thing
Yeah, some of
I
that
will be
stuff, it just
concerned
takes
about.
time figuring it out.
Yeah. That's the only other thing. Um, I know I also do resin prints as well. So I have resin printers also, and there's always the issue about details, or when you go from one scale to the other, whether it's shrink it up, I mean expand it, or shrink it down. Either sometimes the small details get magnified so they look out of proportion, or when you go the opposite direction, those details disappear.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So those are the only other things I would be wondering about, how well they come out. And especially with filament printers, sometimes the layer lines confuse me, and I'm thinking like it's part of the details, but no, it's actually the layer line. And then I start wondering, well, wasn't there a line here? How come I don't see it anymore? Now I see layer line, things like that. Yeah,
yeah. And some of that stuff's hard to see in Cura too. For me, I don't know. It's just like you slice it and then you preview it, and it shows the layer lines really big, but then you print it and you can barely see them at all. So
yeah,
I mean, it's a plus, I guess, but it's confusing when you're slicing them. You're like, is that the way that's going to turn out? Oh man, I hope not. And then yeah,
yeah. But it takes a lot of practice and things.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to know the printer after a while, and then you know what it's capable of versus what you're being shown on Cura or whatever. So, but that takes a little time to get to that point.
yeah. I know. I'm just learning too, and for the last few weeks, I've been using uh, what is it, Cura 3 point whatever, and just yesterday they released the Cura 4.4 point whatever
Something.
version.
Yeah.
So I downloaded it. It's got a few differences in it. I'm still kind of getting used to it too. But it's working out good though so far. I haven't had to alter very many prints to get them to come out right. Other than just changing the infill for to make it print a little faster, or to save some material. But
Right.
I'll show you the difference right here. That way you can kind of see.
Looks like I'm
It's
using
here.
Cura 4.6.2.
See, this it's right off the bed. Let's see if I can get some light on it. There. Okay, that's right off the bed, and you can see the print lines and stuff. I haven't even done any sanding or anything to it yet. So you can see how it comes out. And then whenever you do all the cleanup and then get the paint on it, then that's what you end up with right there.
oh yeah,
So trying to get enough light on it so you can see the detail. So, but yeah,
let's see the new Cura is a 4.8.0.
Yeah.
but that's basically what it is. Though, as you get to know the printer, and then you start knowing your different ways of how to get around all of the different print lines and cleanups and stuff. So, but that just takes a little bit of time figuring all that out.
Sometimes those print lines look good on tech stuff though.
Oh,
Yeah. 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 Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
sometimes you can actually make use of the print lines and have it be part of what it's supposed to be. So, especially if you got like a brick wall or something and you print and you layer the lines just perfect. It just lays in with the bricks. So
Well, I think something that I was talking with Joe last week. Sometimes the layer lines can actually be an asset for certain kinds of paint. Like I was talking about paint that has um, iron particles in there, and I noticed
oh yeah.
it grabs the layer lines very well. So when that paint dries, it's really on there. So sometimes it can be an asset, you know.
yeah, most of the time anyway. Whenever something's sitting on the shelf, you're not going to see it like you do if you photograph it and get real close to it and all that. And most people, they're going to be fine with what they're seeing with the naked eye. So
Right. It's yeah, like when I do these beams and stuff like that, layer lines. But this one is printed at like 1.15 mic. I don't know what I forget what the settings are, but it's not high resolution for the printer. But you probably can't see it on the camera. But there are layer lines, but they actually look good for a metal beam. So, but when you're doing control panels, layer lines don't look good.
Yeah.
So, um,
Have you guys printed
I was
much
just
with?
checking my print.
Have you guys printed much with any of the clear filaments, like the PETG stuff or anything like that?
Mm, I've only
No.
done some, but not much. Let's see. It's
I
not really even that clear. The brass knuckles. I did those with some clear. I don't know if you can see with the light,
Oh
but
yeah.
you kind of do. But that was just playing around. Yeah, but
Oh.
that's the clear PETG stuff. So, but I
I
don't really do too
Did you
much
have any
with it.
problems with the setup on it, with the changing the temperatures or anything like that?
Not really, because I did it on my Robo. So
Okay.
I did it through matter control, and it seemed to print fine. So yeah, that's the Robo.
Oh, nice.
So just an older printer, but it works good. So that's what it's in the process of doing. It's the Animal Warrior still. So it's been nonstop for quite a while now. But yeah, it seemed to be okay on matter control. Whenever I selected the setting for the PETG, it was just select it and then put it in there, and it started printing. So
Cool. Cool.
now some of my other printers, they probably would have gave a little bit more problems, but
Hmm.
the first printer that I got was a what was it? I forget who the company was, but it's called a printer, a UP with an exclamation point. And the only thing that it'll print is ABS. You can't print anything else with it, and it just does not like anything else but ABS. So
Well,
anytime I'm going to
ABS
use
is a
that, that's
strong
what I
material,
use.
though. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I'll use whenever I'm doing any of that. I'll use that printer, but everything else I've been just using PLA and just
Hmm.
getting by with that because most people, whenever they're going to do their display, it's staying in the house. It's not going to be sitting in a car or nothing to get too hot. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, not really too big of a deal.
Hmm.
yeah, not yeah. Adult collectors don't play with the toys the same way as we
Yeah,
used to back in the
I do.
80s.
I still play with mine out in the yard.
yeah, it's a few people that can still get them out there, but for a few hours out in the yard, it'll be okay.
Oh yeah.
It ain't gonna overheat and fall over. So,
If I had a yard, I'll be doing that too. you know, uh, I live in a condo area, so there's no yard for me. But
I'll just throw it all in a duffel bag and and just ignore all the funny looks that people give.
I set it up in the backyard for doing my photographs, but
yes, I have a house in Texas, but so whenever I go there, I'll go either around the house or some other places that have better locations. But you know, like back in the old days, in the 80s and stuff, with a nice big yard and everything, I used to just set up for weekend battles, and I'll just leave everything out there for day and night. Those were fun days, really. Um, we used to build
Hmm.
big, huge, Cobra bases out of brick. So we had like old brick and everything.
Oh
We just
yeah.
stack up and make a big huge thing. And what I wish back then, is we had something like a 3D printer could design some sort of big Cobra thing, to put it on top. And that's something I want to do now,
Yeah.
but I need to find. Well, actually, I have an artist guy. I just need to coordinate with him to sculpt out a big, huge Cobra, something that you see like in a GI Joe cartoon. One of those big, huge Cobras with the back part all flaring out, ready to strike, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And but but yeah, good stuff, good days. Man, I wish I had a yard. I really do. Like
I don't know. I've got a yard, but I got a bad neighborhood. So.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing.
That's my whole problem. Setting it up and then not knowing if a bullet's going to come flying at me or something. So.
Oh. Yeah. So anyways, what were we talking about?
Setting up stuff in the yard and playing with toys.
Yeah, I think we were talking about ABS. And and some other materials. So Joe, I'm curious, what other materials besides ABS and PLA have you printed?
Whatever that metal material is, I don't even remember what it's called. That type that has the metal components like you were talking about that you can put rust onto.
Oh, like the brass. What do you call it?
Yeah, it was some that was kind of like steel anyway. That's what I was using, and it was just another project that I did. But I didn't use too much of it because what they said that it does to your nozzles on the printer. So, because it'll start being like sandpaper going through and mess up your nozzles. So.
Yeah, you need to get a hardened steel one or a stainless steel nozzle. Glow in the dark filament is very
Yeah,
abrasive.
I've used that too. Yeah, I've used that too, and then I kind of backed off on that. So, but yeah, I just stick to the ABS and PLA because it's the easiest, and most of all the projects I'm doing, I don't really need anything really that's going to be to withstand high heat or any of that kind of stuff. So,
I did get this material that has aluminum. I haven't printed it yet, but it has like this high aluminum content in there, so the print's supposed to come out looking like aluminum. So I need to print some of that
Oh wow.
and see how it comes out. That's one thing I like about filament printers is that you get different kinds of specialty plastics. With copper mixed in, brass mixed in, bronze mixed in. There's a company in Germany that's doing with coffee, so you could actually get coffee mixed in. There was another company doing it with beer, I think. Believe it or not, mixing. I don't know how they did it, but people said it smelled like you just printed with beer. So I don't know how that is. Burnt beer or something. I don't know. But.
no, most of my main stuff is right here the sheets of plastic and all that. So I've got tons of that, and of course wood. And there's a whole bunch of wood back there. So that's mostly what I've got that I work with. I'll get you a close up of the wood. So, there's tons and tons and tons of that.
It looks like you have a nice size workshop.
Yeah, it's fairly decent. Yeah, it's fairly decent. I'll go all the way to the other side here, and then I'll show from this side back. So yeah.
Nope.
It's fairly decent.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, you got a lot of room to work.
Well, other than the floor space because of how much I got in here. That's my biggest problem. I need to get rid of some of the stuff that's in here. I need some of this wood that's in here. I need to get rid of because it was my dad's workshop, and whenever he started getting older and wasn't able to do any of the stuff, I started coming out here doing whatever I wanted to do, and he was still doing a few things. And then whenever he got sick and couldn't do it anymore, I pretty much took it over. And then, of course, once he died, it became mine. So, and he's got so much stuff that he had out here that I don't even know really what to do with it. there's there's big logs that's well, I'll kind of squeeze over here and show you over there too.
let me see.
See,
Yeah.
so there's logs over there. There's logs right over here.
What do you do with those logs?
All of this stuff back over here.
Mhm.
He was taking them and see, he's got it right here as a big planer.
Oh, there you go.
And I'll get over here if I can squeeze back by. There's a bunch of stuff piled on it, but right here is a big bandsaw with a big blade.
Oh yeah.
And then I've got stuff piled on it, but there's the table saw right here. And so what he was doing is taking it and cutting chunks off of it and doing all kinds of different things with it. And let's see if I can get over here.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Right here.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was making a bunch of these type of things and making candle holders is what his big specialty was. And so he was making, I mean, there's some right here and then some back over there that he had made and then up on the wall up there. But no, he was making all kinds of different stuff like that. And he didn't really want to sell anything. He was always giving it away. He wouldn't stay out here and make it as his hobby. And anybody that he decided that he liked, he would give them a candle holder. So, and it made him happy. So my mom never questioned him or got on to him for it or anything because he was happy doing it. So
I knew someone doing something like that as a hobby, but for canes, like walking canes and stuff.
Yeah, he
And
was doing some of those years ago. There's none of those here though. And I helped him. It was whoever the bishop is that was at the time over this area because I was raised Catholic and he was still going to church and all that at that time. And he had me make one of those big crochers, you know, those big cane things that they have. That's he had me help him make one of those. And I used 3D printing doing some of the different stuff. I had the little part, the little hook that came down at the end. It had a cross in it that was 3D printed, and the other piece was 3D printed. And then he hand sanded some of the other part out of wood and made the whole cane itself, or whatever you call it. He made that part out of it was walnut wood, and he put screws in it so it was able to come apart in 3 sections. So that way, when the bishop was traveling, he could be able to carry it with him. And as far as I know, he's still using it today. So, but he did a lot of different things, and like I said, there's so much wood that's in here. There's no way he would have ever used it. And there's no way I would ever even use it all, and I need to get rid of some of it. I just don't know.
Well, winter's coming. You could always have some extra firewood.
Yeah.
Some of them logs sitting
I
around.
don't know if I'd want to. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to burn black walnut though.
Yeah, not indoors. Yeah.
But no, I figured eventually I'm going to try to contact some different people, like maybe some of the gun manufacturers or something, and see if maybe I could sell it to them. Because this is just some of it. There's another storage building that's out that's in my backyard, and that storage building is completely full of wood.
Ah,
And he's got, you know, the size of railroad cross ties. He's got railroad cross tie size of black walnut out there.
Oh wow.
So, and there's probably about 50 or 60 planks of that. And that is some heavy, heavy, heavy wood. I don't know. I think it was probably, I think each piece is about 140 pounds or so. So, but I need to do something with it because it's just sitting there basically. Well, I would say it's sitting there rotting away, but it ain't even really rotting because it's cured and it's good wood. It's just it's sitting there doing nothing. So,
I wonder if you can just cut it to thin sheets and use it for laser cutting.
well, that's what he was doing, is cutting chunks of it off, and it could be done stuff like that with. But there's so much already out here in the workshop that I don't even need all of that. So
Because
there's
what
more
happened
than
to
enough.
me? Was that?
I was saying there's more than enough of it out here, so I don't even need what's over in the other storage building.
Yeah, what happened to me today is I'm getting low on these woods, and only got like 5 sheets left, and so I
Yeah,
had placed an order and on Amazon, and what I got instead was just 8-inch square, so really small compared to what I need, and so I had to place another order and all that stuff, and I'm just looking around and I'm thinking like, well, the the sources of those kinds of wood is like very small. Not a whole lot of companies are doing them. So I'm just wondering, like what would it take to just do your own specialty woods? Because on a lot of those uh, laser cutting groups, there's all sorts of people doing all sorts of different projects with different kinds of woods, different thicknesses
yeah,
and different kinds. And I was just wondering, well, maybe that might be a market there, to have like, some wood,
possible.
yeah, just even cuts, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just tell people that here's some wood and what do you need? So, a lot of people are what using balsa wood mostly.
Or basswood, basswood, however it's pronounced.
Yeah, yeah, the basswood and then balsa I think is a good is one of the other ones, and of course there's some people that will use pine, but I don't like the way that smells whenever it's burning.
But I hear
So
there's some woods that you don't want to burn, like in a laser machine for,
yeah,
some kind of fume.
um, let's see. Try and see if I can get back over here. Uh,
So,
yeah,
Mike, I'm curious, what
it's like
projects do you want to do with ABS? Oh, sorry, I'm a bit too
Oh,
fast.
I was just saying,
I've been looking at a lot of
it's just stuff like that.
uh
Hold on, let me bring back Joe real fast.
uh
You want to show that again, Joe?
I know. I was just saying, it's just there's stuff like this that I've been using. It's just little thin sheets, and there's a bunch of it that's around, like right up in here,
Yeah.
and then some more that's up there. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's thin sheets that's already cut that I've been using for laser cutting. So,
Sorry
yeah.
about that little mix-up. Okay, Mike, you were saying about ABS?
oh yeah, well, I've been noticing a lot of files out there for 3D printed firearms and firearm parts, and most of them are recommend ABS because it's stronger, more heat resistant and stuff like that. So I've been looking around and stuff like that. I haven't had a chance to print any of it yet. I'm still learning how to print with PLA, getting that down. And but eventually I bought some ABS and some PETG just to play around with. But um, yeah, I was just checking out what there is to print. There's so many things on Thingiverse and just out there on the internet in general that just amazing things you can print with different materials. It's pretty cool.
Can your printers handle nylon?
I'm not sure. I believe it's rated for it, but I haven't tried to print anything on it in nylon yet.
Okay, yeah, because I think heat, nylon would be the best. Um, yeah, anyway, ABS is better than PLA, but I think nylon is better than ABS for the heat. Uh,
I'm just locking up, so I was in the process of getting out of the workshop.
I just read a thing the other day. People are printing. You can print uh like softer materials, like flexible rubbers on 3D printers for like tank treads and uh car tires and stuff like that. For smaller scale stuff.
right.
I've been kind of interested in that, but I don't know if my printer is set up for that stuff or not.
Well, the rule of thumb is a printer that uses direct drive. Basically, you got the extruder, and you got how to say the
There.
like my CR10, for example. That one is not a direct drive system. The servo that moves the filament is towards the back,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so it goes through a Bowden tube.
Right.
So so that's not going to be friendly for flexible materials. It's got to. The rule of thumb is that it has to be a direct drive, but there are
Okay.
exceptions. There are exceptions. Um, but Ninja Flex, for example, that's almost like a rubber band. So you can imagine
Okay.
trying to put that through the tube. It's just going to bend before it gets into the tube.
Yeah.
So there's other ones too. There's Polyflex, and that one is a little bit more stiff. I haven't tried it, but it might work. Um, Even on my direct drive machines, even printing something like Polyflex is tricky. I'm successful sometimes, but I fail a lot more than I'm successful. Uh, and that reminds me about also with like clear material. You were asking about clear plastics and stuff like that. I basically on if it's not resin, I basically stopped because it's it's not the layer lines that bother me on clear. It's it's the pattern inside the plastic that bothers me. Sometimes you can still see the infill patterns.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So that part kind of bugs me. So I kind of stay away from clear like that unless it's resin. But,
Um,
but what I do more on flexible is using flexible resins, and you can get rubber that's basically like a rubber tire, like it feels like bulk rubber, and then there's another that feels like a rubber band, kind of flexible, even stretchy.
oh wow.
So yeah, but yeah, Ninja Flex is very popular, but direct drive you want to go.
Yeah, I like the rubbery materials and all that, but I've stayed away from them because I don't even know for sure how my printers would take them, and I just hadn't bothered to try.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know you got a Flux Delta printer. I know the
Yeah,
the flexible will not go for that. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The flux, it's not doing really like it used to at all. Anyway, that's I hardly even used the printer lately because of the way it's been printing. I need to try to figure out what's wrong with it. it's been doing a lot of layer shifts and all that type of stuff whenever it's trying to do. And whenever I did that upgrade that they had, that's whenever it just kind of went downhill. So
Interesting. Yeah,
I,
I need
I
to
need to take it back again.
I got like a filament jam inside the extruder part. I need to open it up and see if I can
Hmm.
fix it up.
Yeah, I was getting that a lot too. So, but
Which
yeah,
which brands of filament do you guys prefer? Like name brands?
Well, I like the what's the it, Hatchbox is something that I liked for many years. But I'm recently switched over to Overture, mostly because it's cheaper. But I got Overture going on right there on that machine, and it's been printing pretty well, pretty consistent.
I was
that's
having
pretty much
really
what
good
I've been
luck with
using.
Hatchbox, and then I ordered like 4 rolls, and every single one of them, they all came the same. They were all from this like next to each other on the shelf, obviously, but all 4 rolls were spooled so horribly that like the first one I put on it an hour into a print, it knotted up, and it was
Yeah.
probably like somebody's first day on the job. They're like probably like, here, wash this machine, make sure it spools neat, and then they just, I don't know, went out and had a cigarette or something because all 4 rolls all bad, and I was like, man, I need to find another good brand because the
That's what I
Hatchbox
was
stuff is
using.
good, but man, that the quality on those 4 rolls was just like turned me off of it like immediately.
Yeah, I was using Hatchbox a lot, and then I started using 3D Solutions. And I think 3D Solutions either went out of business or something. I don't know. I hardly ever find them anymore.
Hmm.
And there's been a couple other brands. I forget who it is that I've used. I tried to use the Amazon name brand that they had, and that I don't know what was wrong with it. It was the thickness of the material was different all the way through. It was printing
Oh wow.
pretty good. It printed fine at one point, and then it jammed up, and I was trying to figure out why. And I was going ahead and using one of the feed tubes just to feed it in to see what's going on, and was pulling on it just to see. And I started getting every so often a little bit of resistance. And then I started using a caliper to see exactly what was going on, and it was different thicknesses all the way through. So it just
One
wasn't consistent.
one brand that is my favorite is from Polymaker. They have many different kinds of of of, of offerings, but they basically do their own formulation. So and their filaments are a bit unique. Uh, for example, they incorporate what they call jam-free technology. But I think it's true because since using their filaments, I've had no jams at all. You know, it's a Chinese company. They're based in Shanghai, and but they have some very good quality filaments. I haven't found any Hatchbox experiences. No poorly spooled thing either. So you may want to try them out as well. So Overture and Polymaker stuff.
Yeah, I've
And
used Overture myself. That's pretty good. I was trying to see what else I had. I was digging through some of mine down here.
there's
Uh,
also another type is similar to ABS. It's called I think ASA. It's like a modern version of an ABS.
yeah,
So
Octave is another one.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you want to look into that. I think it's supposed to print easier and
Let's
be
see if I can
more friendly without an odor. Oh,
there.
let me zoom it up.
That one.
Octave.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's another one that I use that I like. It seems to never fail me really every time I've used it, and it's generally cheap. So You can usually find it for like $18.99 a spool. So,
That's
Um,
pretty
and
good.
Esun is also another decent one.
but yeah, that's probably what I bounce between the most is 3D solutions whenever I can find them, and then the Octave and um, probably I think the Overture is the next one that I have gone to. So,
I'm checking on something right now. Uh,
but that's usually what I try to do is I try to get cheaper stuff whenever I got big projects, of course, and because it's going to be painted, so it really doesn't matter if it kind of prints a little rough. So,
Uh
because nobody's ever going to see that.
huh.
And
okay. Color Fab. I used Color Fab before.
I think I
Uh,
used them one time before.
yeah,
Seems
they're
like it.
located, I think, in the Netherlands, actually.
Hmm.
Um, they're a little bit on the high side, but they do have some interesting colors. You know, like olive drab, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm going through their site right now. Yeah, they also still have those metal ones, you know, like brass fill, bronze fill, things like that. Yeah,
There.
I'm just quickly going through.
That's what. Oh,
Well, here's something I can do. Let me bring this in. You can all take a look at it. Let's see. Share screen. Share. Let's try this. Let me tear this off so I can control it. Ah, won't tear off. Gotta move things around. Okay, can you all see this well?
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they do have, like quite a bit of you know, different color choices. Some of them we see, elsewhere, but oh, semi matte black. That's interesting.
That is a little pricey though.
Yes, they are. And the thing is that it it doesn't. They don't seem to come in the amount that the spool seems to be a little bit smaller. SA filaments. Let's see. So what's the difference between this black and that black? Besides the size. Oh. Let's see.
Just lighter.
Uh, the description. I guess so. Lightweight. I guess maybe if you're gonna to fly a drone or something like that.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
What's this? Ninja Tech. The same
Uh,
same people who do Ninja Flex. Maybe so. That's interesting. Steel. Water. So I haven't been to Color Fab in several years, but they did have wood filaments. They had a bamboo filament, a wood filament also. Eel? What's eel? Oh, NT minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, 90. Look at that. Yeah. Oh, okay. So
Electronic
it's stretchy.
traces, flexible wire. Wow. Conductible wearable product. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Looks like they have expanded their filament area. What is this? Interesting. Color on demand. What?
They certainly got a lot of options.
Yeah, different kinds of options. Yeah, this. In the past, they only offered filaments. They now it's like they offer all kinds of different kinds of filaments. Interesting.
I think that's what it's gotten into anyway, is a lot of the different companies that was offering it. So many other companies started coming up offering the same stuff, so different people started trying to specialize in other options so that way they could stay in business. And the ones that didn't grow, they of course went out. So
Right.
Yeah. That's good though. Competition drives innovation.
yeah,
Well, I'll just go through a couple others. I don't see any of their older stuff like wood or bamboo and things like that. That's PETG. Anyways, I'll I'll close that up. But I recently printed in PETG, and I didn't know I was trying to print PETG. I didn't know I had ordered any, and I thought it was PLA. So I was trying to get the thing printing, and I was like, "Oh, how come it's not sticking?" It's like because no matter what I did, it was just not sticking to the build plate. And it's like, and then I realized, oh, it's PETG, and then so I raised up the heat and everything. So it printed really, really well. So I grabbed it off and I started twisting, and it's like, how come it's not strong? It's like the PLA is stronger. How come this thing here wants to twist and then crack and then I break it apart? What's going on? And so I read up some more about it and stuff, and it does have a better breakage point, but it also has a more flexible breakage point than PLA. And so I was able to turn around and print some real world one-to-one tool items that I need, and so I printed that. But one of these, I don't remember which one. The color's identical, but one of them is PETG, and I can't tell the difference. And I don't want to twist and break the wrong one. But yeah, so haven't really done much on PETG stuff other than that. So I got 4 rolls of PETG. I only need one. I don't know what to do with the others. Well, I'll see. Anyways, so we're more than so almost an hour and a half. I'm going to go ahead and begin the process of closing down. I guess once Joe returns, and I don't have too much to talk about. You know, it's just been the same thing for me going over. Um, I really am glad you got yourself a 3D printer and it's working out for you well. So
Yeah, man. Thanks. It's awesome.
So what else
I'm
do you
looking
print?
forward to printing a whole bunch of more stuff too, coming soon.
Well, are you going to print more 28 millimeter stuff besides tiles?
I'm
Building.
printing all the 28 mil stuff I got room for. I have boxes and boxes of dungeon tiles, and now I'm printing sci-fi stuff. I think I have uh, one more section of starship terrain to print and assemble, like the lower decks with the cargo bay and armory and maybe a brig or something. And then I'm gonna stop on the 28 mil stuff unless I just see a mini that catches my eye or some random piece of terrain that I might want to, for a campaign.
Right.
But after that, most of my prints will be 118 or 1/1 scale, probably.
There was a company in, I'm trying to remember. Uh, is it Laser Terrain? Let's see, Laser Terrain. Yeah, I think so. I think it's a company in the UK that they are doing props for gaming, but done with yeah, this is it. Let me oh, I guess I can do share this screen again. Let me, because this is worth taking a look into. I know they had a Kickstarter last year, so I don't know if you've seen any of this, but just very, very briefly, and then I'll call it quits for the night. Share screen, share screen. Okay. So can you see this well? Yeah.
Laser terrain, huh? Oh, wow.
Yeah. You might find this interesting.
It's interesting already. I like that.
I lost touch with the guy that's doing this about a year, somewhere in 2019 or 18. I lost contact with him, but he was just finishing his Kickstarter, and he's using you know, uh, a laser cutter for doing the terrain stuff. So everything has a sci-fi look to it.
Hmm.
I think actually in the maybe the store would have better pictures because he had a lot that he was offering.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the parts.
I like that.
So this is interesting. Let me just scroll down through first, then I'll click something to zoom in. So some of them are using two color acrylics, for example, where like the inside color is transparent, the outside color is opaque, so you can shine a
Like
light
that.
through it, and you
Yeah.
can manipulate the floor, things like that. So he is doing a very sci-fi look. So
Yeah, those look sweet, man.
yeah, you might like stuff like this. This interesting view. So I think he's using acrylics mostly, I believe.
Is that what he's doing? Is laser cutting a lot of that?
Yeah, laser cutting everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So it looks like he's using in in aluminum color acrylic. Yeah, doing the same stuff I'm doing. Yeah, for props and stuff. Anyways, I'll go ahead and I guess I go home. I'll go ahead and just copy this and I'll send it to you in Messenger. I'll do it right now.
Cool, man. That's good stuff.
Let me go on Facebook. Okay. Okay, y'all should have it. So, okay, I'm going to start closing up. Does anybody want to say any closing words or anything about D&J Toys or anything?
No, just Eagle Force is coming.
Okay.
Everybody that hadn't got theirs, it's going to be coming this week.
Mike?
Oh yeah, man. I just want to say thanks for having me on, and you guys have been really informative, and it's great, man. That there's you guys are willing to spread some, you know what I'm saying, to just starting out. You know what I mean, it's a big learning curve just getting into this stuff, man, and yeah, you guys really helped me out a lot.
Yeah,
Oh
well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's one of the things that some of us like to try to do. I mean, we've done that with each other over the years, and so I've tried to do that whenever I've had the ability to tell anybody about different things. And the YouTube channel that I
That's
started up,
much
that's mostly what
appreciated
I'm
for
using
sure.
it for. And on my YouTube channel, that's what I'm doing is showing uh, each individual thing. Like last week, I talked about, well, week before last, I talked about my paint booth and what it does for me. And last week, I talked about 3D printing. And this week, I'm probably going to talk about laser printing or the laser cutting and show what it does. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is just show different things because there's so many different things out there for everybody that can be able to get involved and do different things because no one person can do it all. So,
yeah. Okay. Well, I guess even though we got 3 minutes to spare to the bottom of the hour, I'll go ahead and call it quits now. I am hungry. I haven't had dinner or anything like that. I had lunch, but it was McDonald's. So you know how that goes. Uh,
time to
uh,
get something to drink.
yeah.
I hadn't had
Well, I
nothing
got.
to drink in several hours now. So,
Well, I'm gonna let this printer go for the night. Basically, after this, I'm gonna print another one of those longer pieces. Takes about 7 hours, so I'll let that go for that. And there's a few other items I need to prepare. I want to go to the post office tomorrow and drop some. But I was telling Mike earlier before starting the video, before going live, that I was cleaning up some parts and they're all sticky and everything because I'm putting them into an alcohol vapor bath and they
yeah.
fell. And so I had to reprint them and redo them. So I'm
Yeah.
not too happy on that, because it's all the time involved and everything just wasted.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
sounds good. Okay, well, all right. Thanks for everyone for joining, and viewers now and viewers who will see this later on. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that other stuff. Um, thanks everyone for joining, and see y'all back next week.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Yep. We'll see everybody later.